There's a photograph from this past Christmas at Sandringham that, according to those who were present, tells a story no official camera ever could. It wasn't taken by a press photographer, nor released by the palace. It exists, insiders say, only in the memory of a few trusted staff and, most importantly, in the heart of a young princess. We're talking, of course, about the moment the Prince of Wales, William, is said to have given his daughter, Charlotte, a gift so personal, so quietly profound, that it reportedly moved onlookers to tears and has since sent ripple through the inner circles of the monarchy. This is Royal Report 24/7, and if you're captivated by the hidden gestures that define the modern royal family, the moments of raw humanity behind the palace walls, then you're in the right place. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell. We delve deeper than the headlines, and what we're about to share, based on multiple insider accounts, redefines the narrative of this royal Christmas. Understand the sheer emotional weight of what William allegedly did. We must first feel the chill in the air that preceded it. This wasn't just any Christmas. The king's cancer diagnosis, a shockwave that silenced the nation, cast a long, solemn shadow over the season. Courtiers speak of a determined effort to project continuity, a business-as-usual spirit for the sake of the monarchy and the public. But within the private apartments, the mood was reportedly one of subdued anxiety. Charles, ever the stoic patriarch, is said to have been intensely focused on both his treatment and the relentless machinery of state, perhaps more aware than ever of the clock ticking, of the legacy he must solidify, and of the family he must somehow hold together. And then, the other, more familiar tension. The pressure on her, insiders whisper, was immense, though carried with her characteristic grace that it was against this backdrop of silent strain, of a family navigating health crises and historic rifts under the world's microscope, that Prince William's focus reportedly turned intensely inward, toward his children, and specifically toward his only daughter, Charlotte. Now, we must be clear. What we are about to describe comes not from a press release, but from a confluence of reports from those who move in royal-adjacent circles. A former palace staffer, a friend of the family, and a commentator known to have reliable sources within the Wales household. The story is consistent in its core, breathtaking in its sentiment. The tale begins not on Christmas morning, but in the weeks prior. William, observers note, was seen to be spending an unusual amount of quiet, one-on-one time with Charlotte. More than the usual homework help or weekend activities. It was a focused, almost deliberate companionship. They were reportedly seen taking long walks across the Sandringham estate, while wrapped against the winter cold, deep in conversation. The coat that sparked a global fashion moment, yes, but more importantly, the coat from a time of uncomplicated joy. A time before Megxit, before the loss of her late majesty, before the titles of Prince and Princess of Wales, before cancer diagnoses. A time when the world saw them simply as a young, smiling family on a crisp winter morning. But William's gesture, sources claim, went even deeper. Accompanying the perfectly scaled-down coat was a doll. Not just any doll, but one crafted in the likeness of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, as she appeared that same day. And here is where the story turns from sweet to soul-stirring. It is reported that William personally selected the fabric for the doll's outfit, a precise match for Catherine's elegant navy blue dress and coat from that 2016 appearance. He allegedly provided reference photographs from his own private collection, ensuring the doll's auburn hair and smile were just right. The purpose, as explained by a source said to be familiar with William's thinking, was twofold. First, to give Charlotte a tangible, physical connection to a simpler, sunlit chapter of her childhood, a chapter her father dearly wanted her to remember and hold on to. And second, and perhaps more poignantly, to symbolically reunite the Wales family unit in a moment of play. With Catherine still recuperating and needing to conserve her strength, and with the weight of their future roles bearing down, William's gift was a silent promise. This is us. This is where we come from. This love is constant. The moment of the gifting, we are told, did not happen under the grand Christmas tree with the other presents. It was private, just William, Catherine, and their 3 children in their sitting room on Christmas Eve. When William presented the box to Charlotte, and she opened it to find the miniature coat and the doll of her mother, the reaction was reportedly one of stunned, quiet wonder. Then, we are told, Charlotte did something that broke the emotional dam. She immediately placed the doll of Catherine beside the new, tiny coat, looked up at her actual mother, and said, according to one account, "Now you can always come on walks with us, even when you're resting." It is said that Catherine's eyes filled with tears instantly. William, the source continues, had to look away for a moment to compose himself. Even George, ever the protective older brother, was reportedly visibly moved. A staff member who was briefly in the adjacent room confessed to a friend, "You could have heard a pin drop, and then you just felt this wave of pure, unadulterated love coming from that room." It wasn't a royal moment. It was a human one. The most human moment I think I've ever witnessed in my service. So why would such a private act leak? And why does it matter? This is where our analysis begins. In the high-stakes theater of the modern monarchy, every gesture is a message. Insiders speculate that allowing this story to circulate, whether through careful briefing or a simple, understanding tolerance of the whispers, serves a powerful purpose. First, it showcases William as not just a future king, but as a father in full. In contrast to the distant, disciplinarian archetype of previous generations, here is an heir to the throne deeply, emotionally invested in the inner lives of his children. It's a modernity the palace is keen to promote. Second, it reinforces the unbreakable image of the Wales family as a cohesive, loving unit, a solid 4, as some commentators call them, now 5 with Louis. He anchored his family in their own happiest history. A royal biographer we spoke to for context put it this way: "This is the essence of William's strategy. He is building a monarchy of emotional resilience. He understands that the institution's future depends not on pomp alone, but on its ability to showcase relatable, enduring human values." This gesture, whether premeditated for public effect or not, does exactly that. It says, we remember who we are at our core. The echoes of this gesture are said to still be resonating. Some claim it even reached the ears of the king at Sandringham. A well-placed source intimates that Charles, upon hearing a discreet account of the event, was deeply touched, seeing in it a reflection of the familial tenderness he himself struggled to consistently provide, but as always, in his own way, longed for. It's seen as a passing of an intangible baton, not of duty, but of emotional stewardship. As for Charlotte, insiders say the doll, which she has named Little Catherine, is now a constant companion. It sits with her during